Hi everybody, and welcome to another great episode of Why Don't You Want My Stuff? Today I'm going to tell some story about a garage sale that I went to. Why do you want to hear about garage sale stories? Because you can learn a lot from my education. Well, anyway, my education and what I call college is going to yard sales and estate sales and auctions and learning by buying something, maybe spending too much one time, and then the next time actually making a killing on that thing you didn't expect to make money on. It's just a really strange thing. But anyway, I call it college because that really, some of those classes you took, you know, you might have paid $75 for that class, but you might have paid $1,000 for a class and didn't learn a thing. Hopefully you learn when you buy high and sell low. Hopefully you learn from that one. But anyway, I got some great stories for you. So this one, I like to tell the positive ones. You'll find most antique dealers and collectors only tell you about their wins, but they never tell you about their losses. So I'll have to do a whole section on stupid purchases of mine. But today I'm going to tell you about a great one because it was dumb luck. Anyway, I go to a home in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I was driving home. I had been yard sailing all day, and I usually like to wrap up around noon, 1 o'clock on a Friday, Saturday, because most of the stuff was already picked through. But this day in particular is about 3 o'clock. I'm almost home, and I'm in the sticks, and I see yard sale, so I have to go. So I turn the corner, pull up, and it's a A-frame house sitting up on the side of a hill. Pull up, and they can tell it looked picked through. They had some antiques and collectibles. The prices were really inexpensive, but it was really the dregs that were left. And they said, is there anything in particular you're looking for? And I said, I actually look at the time I was looking for vintage toys and video games and electronics. I had just made a lot of money selling a calculator. I'll tell you that story later, like a 70s calculator. But so I was all of a sudden an expert in vintage calculators. That's how this business works. So you make money on it, you become an expert in it. So I said that to them, and they told me they had a bunch of electronics and their dad's old stereo equipment. So I said, I'll take a look. They said, well, he paid a lot of money for it. We're going to want $100 for everything. And everything. We just want to sell it all. It's very heavy and it's in the basement. We're cleaning the house out. So I went down and took a look, and I said, would you take $75? Because I went to pick something up in the dark and it was super heavy, and I was feeling $25 for my own personal labor. And they said, sure thing. So I took it out, get it out, and I went to move the turntable, you know, the record player, and it was the heaviest damn thing I ever picked up in my life. And I was like, oh my God, I've never heard of the brand, but the rule in electronics used to be, if it was heavy, that's the good stuff. And another rule, if you've never heard of it in electronics, it's probably good, because somebody once told me, if you've never heard of it, it's because you can't afford it, which again, it could also be because it was the Why Pay More brand. But in this case, had everything going for it. It was made by a company called SOTA, S-O-T-A. Never heard of them before in my life. And of course, I bought it, put it online, and the next day, the bids were up over $2,000. The entire stereo equipment brought me over $5,000, so that's a hell of a profit off of $75. But of course, I've told you before, I felt extremely guilty. It was just terrible. It's one of the things that I'm bad for this business, because I want to tell you guys, do your homework. Who I'm trying to speak to with this vlog is the people out there that are about to have a yard sale. Before you have a yard sale or an estate sale, have an expert come out to the house and just take a look. And I don't mean your cousin Bob that'll offer you money and buy stuff. I mean somebody that actually will take a look and tell you. Again, I don't mind if somebody's trying to double their money. It's what they do for a living. They have a shop, and you know, they got to pay rent, overhead. I get that. You hire a good auction house, they charge you 25, 35, 40% commission. I get that. But to have somebody come and buy it from you for $5 when they know it's worth several thousand is just not fair. And I'm hoping, well, again, I'm just looking out for you and your grandmother, because a lot of times we could all really use money. And just so you know, because I promise to keep these to 5 minutes, because people say I talk way too much. You can tell I'm a former auctioneer because I speak way too fast. I wanted to point out that this is my Halloween episode. So for those of you who love Halloween, boo, scared you, didn't I?
Nigga wanna see me fall. Stephen Curry, how I ball. Gosha garments and a white 3 on